You keep chasing happiness, but every time you get close, it slips through your fingers, like trying to hold sunlight in your hands. You tell yourself, once I get that job, once I meet the right person, once I move out, once I have more money, I'll finally be happy. And for a short moment, you are. But it fades. The job gets boring. The relationship gets complicated. The new city loses its magic. And so, you start again, chasing the next thing, the next promise of happiness. You scroll through other people's lives, comparing your chapter 1 to their chapter 20. You think you're broken because you don't feel joy all the time. But you're not broken. You're just looking in the wrong place. The Stoics said, happiness doesn't come from what happens to you. It comes from how you respond to what happens. It's not a reward you receive after achieving something. It's a state you choose in spite of what's missing. Epictetus once said, there is only one way to happiness, to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. That's the truth most people avoid, because it's easier to blame the world than to look within. It's easier to think happiness will come after you fix your life, rather than realizing it only comes when you fix your mind. The reason you can't find happiness is because you keep searching for it outside yourself. You've been taught that happiness is a destination, a reward for effort, a trophy for success, a feeling earned by achieving enough. But the Stoics knew it's the opposite. Happiness isn't a reward. It's a practice. You don't stumble upon it. You cultivate it through discipline, perspective, and inner peace. Think about it. You've had moments when everything was fine, but your mind wasn't. You were in a safe place, had food, comfort, maybe even love, yet you felt anxious, restless, unfulfilled. And there were other moments, small, quiet ones, when nothing was special, but you felt peace. A walk at night, a cup of coffee alone, a few minutes of silence. That's what the Stoics called eudaimonia, a happiness that doesn't depend on pleasure or fortune, but on harmony between your actions and your values. Seneca said, true happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. But look at your life. How much of it is lived in the present? Most of your thoughts belong to the past, regrets, guilt, nostalgia, or to the future, fear, comparison, ambition. Almost none of them belong to now. And that's why you feel empty, even when things are good. You're never really here. Happiness doesn't hide in another place, another person, or another goal. It hides in the simplicity you've been avoiding, in gratitude, in patience, in acceptance. You keep waiting for the world to calm down so you can feel peace, but the world will never calm down. You have to calm yourself down in the middle of it. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, lost everything in a shipwreck. His fortune, his possessions, his plans, gone in one moment. And yet, he said something remarkable. I made a prosperous voyage when I suffered shipwreck. Because through that loss, he discovered philosophy. He discovered freedom. He realized happiness isn't about keeping what you love. It's about learning to love even after losing. You can't find happiness because you still think it's a feeling that comes and goes. But true happiness is not pleasure, it's peace. Pleasure depends on conditions, the weather, your bank account, someone's attention. Peace depends on nothing. It's a quiet strength that comes from knowing you can endure whatever comes. It's the unshakable calm that comes when your heart no longer resists life. The Stoics taught that pain is not the enemy, attachment is, because everything you cling to becomes a chain. You fear losing it, and in that fear, you lose yourself. You cling to people, and they disappoint you. You cling to money, and it slips away. You cling to pleasure, and it fades. And so you suffer, not because of the thing itself, but because of your attachment to it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." But the modern world makes you forget that. It tells you happiness is somewhere out there, in the next purchase, the next vacation, the next achievement. And so you run in circles, mistaking excitement for joy. But excitement burns fast. Joy, real joy, burns slow. It's the warmth that stays even when everything else fades. So ask yourself this: what if you stopped trying to feel happy and instead tried to live with meaning? What if happiness isn't something you chase, but something that follows you when you walk the right path? What if happiness isn't a feeling, but the quiet confidence that you're living in harmony with your values, no matter how hard life gets? Musonius Rufus said, "He who wishes to be happy must not seek happiness in pleasure, but in living rightly." That's the essence of Stoic happiness: virtue, doing what's right, living with integrity, being kind even when others aren't, being disciplined even when it's hard, being grateful even when life feels unfair. That's happiness, not a mood, but a moral strength. The joy of knowing that even if everything collapses, you won't. And maybe that's why you've been lost. Because the world tells you to seek comfort, not character. But comfort doesn't make you happy. It makes you soft. Character makes you strong. And strength, that's where peace lives. So start small. Don't wait for the perfect life to begin living. Don't wait for everything to make sense before you choose gratitude. You can be thankful now. You can be peaceful now. You can be free now. Because freedom is not about changing your circumstances. It's about changing your perspective. When you stop needing things to go your way, you start finding peace in every way they go. When you stop resisting life, life stops hurting so much. That's the paradox. You stop chasing happiness, and suddenly it starts walking beside you. Think of happiness not as a destination, but as a quiet companion, one that shows up when you're present, humble, and aligned with your soul. Not loud, not dramatic, just quietly there, in the background of your calm mind. The more you try to force it, the more it disappears. But when you let go, it returns, like a bird that lands only on still hands. Happiness isn't something you find, it's something you become, and you become it the moment you stop running and finally sit still with yourself. Control your mind, or your mind will control you.